Hi everybody, welcome back to Sending Ravens. How's everybody doing? I've been down some rabbit holes. Oh my goodness. I've been watching a lot of videos with Gene Decode, Gene Decode. And man, that guy's full of information. It's just fascinating. Today I even watched one. He was on Christen W. I think it was a couple of days ago actually, but I just saw it today. And they were talking about the D.U.M.B.S. And his theory is they call them D.U.M.B.S because we're so dumb we don't even notice that they're right in plain sight. He was actually showing pictures. One of them was in Utah that they've reclaimed and cleaned out, and it's actually usable. But some of them have been used for so many hundreds, possibly thousands of years. These underground, tunneled out caverns and whole villages and whole cities underground. Some of them are just not usable because they're so evil energetically and they can't be cleared. But so he says they blow those up. So I would highly recommend, because I can't really go over all the stuff they talked about, but go watch them on, what was it called? Truth Seeker YouTube channel. And it's Gene Decode with Christen W. Just want to make sure I get that right. Yeah, go check it out. Also, he mentioned some fellow named Douglas Marshall, who's kind of a whistleblower, who really in great detail describes there's various forms of cloning. And he gets into huge details. And so I highly recommend you go look up Douglas Marshall cloning on YouTube. It's pretty wild. And there's several videos, but there's one where it's just this fellow being interviewed, this Douglas Marshall. Or maybe the interviewee is Douglas Marshall and he's interviewing somebody else. But anyway, I found it through looking up Douglas Marshall cloning. And Gene Decode recommends it. And it is absolutely fascinating, the details. So this guy was satanically ritually abused since age 5, so he's a survivor. And he got back in touch with his memories some years back. And, just incredible inside information about what went on and what goes on. And it's very different than originally we thought. But he says cloning's been around since the end of the Second World War, or even the beginning of the Second World War. So it's a real thing, people. Yeah, so this stuff is coming out. It's just pouring out. Like even the photos that Gene Decode shows on that video I just mentioned. Oh my God, check it out. And the horrifying things that they're discovering in these underground caverns that has been done to these people that have never seen the light of day, some of them. And they're even crossbreeded with animals, and it's horrifying. Most of them don't make it to the surface alive. And when you hear what he says about it, you'll see why. But oh my goodness. Yeah, so it's incredible rabbit holes I've been going down. Just degrees of what I can tolerate hearing about. But everyone's going to need to know this stuff. It's all coming out. We need to know so we never get in this position again. We never allow this ever to happen to the human race again. That's what our job is right now, right? Yeah. So what I want to look at is this Douglas Marshall's cloning information. Is it on track? Like, is that just made up dreams? Because I recommend you go watch it. I'm not going to describe it here. It's horrifying and incredible and fascinating. And if it's true, we need to know. That's my theory. We need to know. But I want to know, is he on the up and up? Like, or is he so damaged that he's, imagining this? I felt he was telling the truth, but let's ask the cards. So this video I watched, we'll just say Douglas Marshall's cloning information. Is it true? And then go watch it. Go watch it. Yeah. Yeah. Because it went on for quite a while, the descriptions. And yeah, it's very detailed, and I don't want to get things wrong. So I'd rather you go to the source on that one. He's telling the truth, people. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And he was brought into this from his father, it looks like, or a family member as a small child, like he says. So that part's true. His family's been involved for generations. It looks like it's a family thing, generationally. And he was like put there on purpose to observe. And he has the kind of, the universe put him there. So spiritually, he was put there so he could survive it. Kind of like Jessie, right? Who we first discovered on Dark Outpost. And now she's since been on Aquarius Rising, Africa. She's been on there many, many times. And her information, it's like she survived the most unbelievable and atrocious childhood and witnessed unfathomable things. So did this guy. And they're both placed there spiritually, my opinion, and the card's opinion, to observe and be able to come back, survive it. And somehow they have the kind of energy, tenacity, because the things he described that happened to him, it's a miracle he's still alive. So, yeah. Yes, he is telling the truth. And he is now karmically, his vision and his whole intention is to bring it to as many people as possible. So he's coming out with this. We're probably going to hear from him in the future more and more. Wow. Well, that was the first time I'd ever heard of him. And Decode brought him to my attention. So it's really great when we share intel and information. Wow. And I had not really listened to Decode much. I just didn't really listen to him too much. And all of a sudden this weekend, I've watched about 4 videos with him on it. So he's really bringing some big info. So if you think nothing's going on, you better go watch some of that. Just look him up, Decode. He's on all kinds of shows. Let's ask about him. Let's ask about the info he's bringing, because it's quite inside scoop. Like we asked about Charlie Ward a long time ago, let's ask about, is he getting the true scoop there? Again, my feeling was he was, but cards don't always agree with me. So let's have a look. Just want to make sure everybody there can see the cards. Well, we've got the 10 of Cups. I feel like he ended up in the business of bringing truth, a kind of roundabout way. Something like he bumped into this in a way that tragedy somehow was involved in the past that brought him. So maybe the loss of someone, or hearing about the loss of, maybe the loss of a child, or the loss of a family member, or just hearing something that really traumatized him into looking into this stuff, because he really was living a life where he wasn't really. So he hasn't maybe been into this his whole life, being, knowing this stuff. This could have happened maybe 3 years ago by the look of this. So I don't know any of his history. So if anybody knows, let me know. But we've got this shocking card. So he was just living his life like I was, like a year ago, a year and a half ago, and started really putting things together with a lot of help from Guy, who helps on the Tarot by Janine channel. And just all of a sudden, the veil lifted, and I started seeing the depth of, the world as it actually is, which is literally, so many things different than I thought they were, right? But I some of the stuff I had the right idea. I never really trusted elites, and I don't put anybody on pedestals. So that part, and I never trusted any kind of really big Christian sort of leaders. Christian people are generally nice and kind people, and I was brought up by two of them, and they're still nice Christian people, right? But Christian leaders and the organization of, well, all organized religion, I was born not trusting that. So I know I've been in these places, and I've had lifetimes messed with by this dark cult. I know. And it was through, for sure, Christianity, because I really honestly even said to my mom when I was about 9, just channeled out my mouth. I told her I was brought, or I came here to the earth plane to take down the Catholic Church. That was a mission of mine, because I knew how evil it was. And I didn't know why I knew that, but I did know that. So, whoa, yeah. And my mom's still a really devout Christian and Catholic, yeah. And my dad does whatever, my mom does. He didn't start out, he became a Catholic for her, and he loves my mom. So he follows along because he loves my mom. That's my theory anyway. Right. Anyway, so here we've got the 9 of Cups. Yeah, he's absolutely got really good intel, and he's bringing it out, and he was born to do this, even though he maybe didn't know it at first. Like me, he fell into this. Looks like earlier than I did, but he fell into it, and something shocking brought him here. I don't know what it was. So maybe if I ever get a chance to talk to him, I'll ask him what it was, or maybe it's too private for him to talk about. Yeah, so he's absolutely, this guy's a truther. So yeah, you better go watch some of the stuff he's putting out. It's incredible, and some of the shows he's on. Whoa. Oh, and today I was just on a fellow show, Australian fellow. I just got off a call with him, a Zoom call, David Cowan, and I'm not sure I'm saying his name, Cowan, David. And he's got a YouTube channel, and he's based out of Australia, Perth actually. He's from Perth. But I put it out there that I wanted to be on some people's shows, and I'm happy to go on some other people's shows. I just want to touch base with different places in the world and be hosted by people from those places who can ask me questions about their area, right? And as long as they're sort of more or less on the same page as my beliefs, because I don't want to argue with anybody. Ooh, no, I don't want to be on a show where I'm feeling like I have to argue with the host or anything. So as long as they kind of got the general feeling about the world as what I present, then I'm good to come on and look at the cards on questions they have about their area. Because things are going on all over the world. As David and I discovered when I was looking around the Perth area, you'll have to go, I'll put the link up once the show comes out. I'll put the link up for sure. It'll be in my community page, both my community pages, both my channels. Wow. So let's have another look at the world in general. Where are we sitting with, because clearly by the look of all these things I've been watching, hearing, and what I'm feeling, the whole world is literally being cleared out of deep state dark cult. In fact, just before coming on film here, I heard, and it was from Decode again, talking to this Christen W. I heard they were saying that Somerset Belanoff is still at large. At least this was a few days ago. Now, I just looked into her a couple days ago, and I saw she she was being contained. So I don't know when he heard that, but he also said that her 2 daughters were taken out, or they were trying to escape, and they were escaping off-world. Right, so they have ways of getting off the earth plane, but their craft burned or blew up or something. Anyway, they left, they left the earth plane in lots of ways, not just literally in a craft. Yeah, so apparently her 2 daughters. So it looks like it's going down, folks. Things are happening all around. Incredible things going on. Wow. Okay, so let's have a look at just the world. Like, how is that looking? White hats, because Gene Decode also really breaks down who the white hats are, and it's fascinating. Yeah. And that's in another video he does, and I can't remember who he was chatting to that time, but just go look him up. He's got lots of good information. There was a wonderful woman on Michael Jaco, and another woman Michael Jaco has on as a guest. I can't remember her name. Lovely woman, long hair. She was wearing big, dark rimmed glasses, but they had this other woman on who is a survivor. She might be in her 60s. She was absolutely amazing, this woman. And this was Michael Jaco just a few days ago. So look up and see when he's got 2 female guests. One of them has long white hair and wears glasses, and she is incredible. She grew up in the cult and has so much information and is a healer now. And well, she's an absolute goddess and is incredible woman. Has done her own personal healing and now heals others from deep programming. So she works with really damaged people who have been, programmed by the cult. Incredible woman. Yeah, so there's some incredible videos out there. Incredible. And I think we need to give Michael Jaco a little pep talk. So anybody that watches him, he seems to have lost his faith or something. It's like he's not holding the line. It's like he's wavering. And she even sort of called him on it right at the end. Watch this woman. She goes, "Don't you still trust, Trump and the white hats?" It was interesting. And he's kind of wavering. I think maybe it really hit him hard when things didn't go down the way he expected them to on the 20th. And I think he's feeling a little out of touch or something, right? So give him a pep talk in the comments if you get a chance. Michael Jaco, yeah, because we know he's we need him. We need him to stay holding the line. Okay, so here we've got the Hanged Man. Okay, so watching, and the 9 of Cups. The 9 of Cups in the world. So the out comes the world. So the world we will get the world back to humans. The world will come back to the humans that deserve it, okay? And there's astrologically, when I was studying astrology many years ago with a really good friend of mine who got me into it, actually, my friend Heidi, we studied together, and I remember we saw with all the lineup right around now, this exact thing would be going on. I mean, we couldn't have described it the way it is going down, but we did see a huge last sort of fight between kind of the dark side and the light, really. And it is literally happening, people. It is literally happening. And that the meek would inherit the earth, sort of that Christian saying. The meek would inherit so people that have long not had and aren't famous and elite would actually inherit the earth and its wealth. And wealth would be distributed more fairly. I remember seeing that. It's astrological, so it's karmic and meant to be, people. And we're going to need to just step into owning that. Just own that you deserve it. Your children deserve it. This place is a paradise if we let it. And it's become a hell on earth because this disgusting element has created it that way, because that's what they like. They like to live in that hell-like energy, satanic. That's what they're comfortable in. And we're not comfortable there. That's not for us. And we're not going to be their chattel. Thank you very much. We're going to be free, sovereign beings. Okay, we're coming back to that. And it looks like, really, it's happening. Because we've got the Nine of Cups. We got the nine, and the dark cloaked stuff's behind us. The world is in the near future. So we're getting our world back. There's still a lot. There's still some, like strategies in place. So people will accept the kind of tribunals that are going to happen. Because of course they don't want to just take these people out without some kind of a fair trial, even though it won't be in regular courts. And you can see why it wouldn't be in regular courts, based in the crimes that we're talking about and the scope of the crimes. It just wouldn't work. Also knowing that most of the courts all over the world are actually infiltrated heavily with deep state / dark cult. So that's not going to work. So they're still arranging things so that most of the population, by the time it becomes public and the tribunals become public and the punishments become public, that we're going to be okay with it. That's the whole strategy, it looks like. But yeah, things are really, absolutely happening.